So Yahshuwah was a fulfillment of the shadow, which is the sacrifices are the shadow. Shadow doesn't go away because the shadow reflects off of the true image, right? If I get in front of a light and raise my hand, I don't know if you can see it here, there's no shadow here, you can see a little bit on the wall. The shadow is only there because the image is reflecting the shadow. So you can't take away the shadow because the shadow is connected to the image. So the shadow does not mean you get rid of the shadow. The shadow is only a mirror. That's what he said. It's a shadow. Most people don't know what a shadow is. Shadow is like a mirror. It's a reflection of what's there, the true image. So you can't get rid of the shadow. The shadow will never go away. Okay? That's why the sacrifices were not designed to take away sins. Only Yahshuwah was the one that paid the debt. Those animals couldn't do it. In a nutshell, we have burnt offering sacrifice, we have peace offerings, we have sin offerings, we have the guilt offerings, we have the food and drink, or what's called the meat offerings, and then something I'm not going to touch on this particular session, but we have the red heifer, right? And I did a teaching on that years ago, and it's quite a revelation with that red heifer, but I'm not going to deal with that in this session. Okay, so now let's start off with the first one here, which is the burnt offering. Okay, we're going to start right at Leviticus 1:1. Okay.
And Yah called unto Moses and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yah, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yah.
Okay, so now what do we read? The burnt offering is not a requirement. It was an offering, right? Is that what you read? It was an offering, right? It wasn't a requirement. It was an offering, right? All right. Okay, somebody missed it. Read that verse. It said free will, voluntary will. Verse 3.
If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yah.
So it's a voluntary sacrifice, right? Voluntary, not required. Okay, go ahead.
And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yah, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before Yah, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into pieces, which his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, And the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yah be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah.
See that? So that's a whole burnt offering. Chapter 2 and verse 1.
And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yah, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take there out his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah.
See that? So now the meat offering is not a blood offering, as you know. Probably many people probably would have thought that by hearing the terminology meat offering, but the word for meat is the Hebrew word minka, which it says it is a donation, a tribute, or a sacrificial offering. Usually it says bloodless and voluntary. So that's the meat offering, is bloodless and voluntary, just like the burnt offering, right? Okay, go ahead.
And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron and his sons, and it is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yah made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be a fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yah, and when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yah. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yah made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yah shall be made with leaven. For ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offering of Yah made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto Yah, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of the meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy Elohim to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto Yah, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, and with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yah.
So that's the meat offering. So you got the it looks like maybe cornbread or something like that, could be, or a pastry, right? And then corn. The last part of that was corn. Okay, so they're offering these as sacrifice. And now you notice the priest could eat that, but the priest couldn't eat the first one, which is the burnt offering, because it's a whole burnt offering. Nothing is left. Okay, then the next one is the peace offering in chapter 3.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yah, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat there is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yah. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yah be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yah. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yah, the fat thereof and the whole rump. It shall